Hmm. Oh.
Oh, oh, por el verbo. Ah, déjame ver el muñeco.
Rory's not one for cleaning up after himself.
Y tengo que hacer algo. Tengo que. A ver, voy a salir. Pongo, no lo sé. Ok.
What is it? I'll get you back. Oh, you again.
Stop monkeying around. Come with me.
I'll come inside in a bit. Don't go. Can I just have a few
It's
more
not a request, Carol.
Don't worry. I'll be fine.
What's happening to me?
David? Is everything all right?
We should make haste.
Ok. Busquemos otro lado, ¿verdad? Para entrar. Debe ser por acá. No, no es.
We need to examine the maid's body in the cellar.
Okay.
To find out who killed her.
To be sure she was murdered before we start pointing fingers.
A ver, una entrada por acá. Debe ser por allá.
Oh, stunning. How curious. Come and look at this.
What? ¿Qué encontró?
Look, they form a clear circle.
This can't be a fluke.
Well, looks like one of the stones is missing.
A heavy enough stone to weigh yourself down with.
Y algo.
I've never seen a rose like this before.
I have. The gardener, Rory. He brought some down from the glass house.
Something's carved into each one.
Okay, está bien raro esto, ¿eh? A ver, ¿tengo que hablar con ella o qué?
We need to examine the maid's body in the cellar.
To find out who killed her.
To be sure she was murdered before we start pointing fingers.
Okay. Tengo que buscar la manera de entrar al sótano. No sé por dónde. Y poder examinar el cuerpo de quien la mató. A la sirvienta. Ok, por acá, ahora vamos a ver. ¿Dónde? Vivi, ¿qué se despierta? A ver, he vuelto al mismo lugar. Total. No encontré la manera de entrar. ¿Cómo hago entonces para entrar? Su cara. Rosas, runas, irse. Las
That's
rosas.
an unusual looking rose. I noticed one lying by the side of the loch.
Aye, that's been me. A flower for the flower of Scahandu.
Cecilia.
Cecilia.
My aunt.
Mi tía.
They're for her.
Son para ella.
I grew 'em for her.
Cultivadas para
She
ella.
loved
Sí,
the
le encantaban las
roses,
rosas,
did
pero
Cecilia.
no las
No, the red
rojas.
ones, though.
Guardaban la sangre.
Made her think of blood, you ken.
Forgive me, but
Perdón,
wouldn't
pero
it be
no sería
more
más apropiado
fitting to place
ponerles
them on
en
her
su
grave?
tumba. Su tumba.
Why, she's no there, is she, laddie?
Sí,
That's not where she rests. And I don't much stand by your modern god.
Rory, what happened to her? What happened to Cecilia?
I'm not in the mood to open
Pero
old wounds,
¿cómo
laddie.
sería, chico? Tumba de Cecilia, ¿no?
May I have some of the roses, Rory? I'd like to place them on Cecilia's grave.
What's she to you? You didn't ken her.
No, I didn't. But she's family. And besides, Father always spoke fondly of her. He would even smile as he talked about playing in the gardens with her as a child.
He did he? Aye, well, that's good to ken. I should have some left in the glass house.
There are some strange markings carved into the stones on the shore.
Runes, aye. I'm old-fashioned, I suppose. Still hold to the old ways.
Superstitions don't gain validity just by being believed in for a long time.
I'd watch that. Your precious science doesn't have all the answers, lassie.
Okay.
I'll speak to you later, Rory.
Aye, I'm sure you will, laddie.
Ok, y ahora no sé dónde tengo que ir. Ajá, ahora sí puedo
Sorry,
entrar.
lassie, but you can't go in. It's for family only.
Just hold on a moment.
No, it's okay. I quite understand. You go ahead, and I'll wait here for you, if I must.
Aye, you must.
Esto-
I know, it doesn't look like I have green fingers.
Are these...
Aye, Cecilia's roses.
They're beautiful.
I like to think so.
But they seem to be the only thing that grows here.
Looking to break some more locks, laddie.
These are... dead as dodos.
Hard to raise anything beautiful here, ever since Cecilia's gone.
Ok. Este huerto no. Interesante. ¿Quién hablar con él? Bueno.
Can you tell me about Cecilia? What was she like?
She was a lovely lassie, but she had more than her share of troubles.
Grandfather Edward.
You ken well enough, son.
You said she wasn't in her grave.
Aye, that I did, that I did.
Did she drown?
She did. Killed herself. Her body was never found. Now all I have of her is my memories. And they are not what they were. And this.
That is exquisite. Cecilia made this.
She made it, aye. For me. Girl must have cut her fingers 100 times doing it. On the thorns, ye ken.
What? ¿Eso? ¿Otra alucinación? Ya no puedo tocarla. Ok, esto tiene relación con droga. No puedo hablar con él. Ok. Vamos. Bueno, entonces no le digo nada al tío, no. No voy. Claro que- What? No me puedo ir. What? Sí, ¿qué tengo que hacer? ¿Qué más puedo hacer? Ah, ok. Toca y aparece.
You are unworthy of the name Gordon.
Get away from her, you coward!
What the fuck? Aquí hay algo. Otra vez. A ver. Ya. Acá.
You monster!
Who is that old woman? It takes courage to confront Edward like that.
Ahí había una anciana que se enfrentó a mi abuelo. Que es Edward, que está abusando ahorita de esta chica. Creo que esta chica... pues no sé qué. Algo me falta. ¿Pero qué? Lo que tiene ahí, ¿verdad? Oh, no, 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 no. O sea, cuando me acerco como que el tiempo se retrocede. ¿Pero por qué no puedo? No, 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 no. Uf. No puedo correr, ¿no? No puedo correr. Ahí tiene algo. Quiero acercarme. No.
They
Ah,
lied
ok.
to me.
Who did?
All of
¡Ey! ¿Qué tal, Micael? ¿Cómo estás? Después lo miro por completo. David, soy yo. Es una historia muy buena. Muy interesante. What the fuck? Listo. Trata de una familia que él como que está condenado a, por su padre. Como que lo han embrujado, una cosa así. Y su padre se volvió loco y murió por eso. A ver, Lea, anciano. Vamos a poner el
I
2.
saw an old lady. She wore a long flowing dress. Her
Y él
voice was
como que
strong.
vino a investigar por qué murió su padre y comienza a ver
Sounds
cosas
like Rosemary. She might be
sobrenaturales.
Margaret's mother.
Espérate,
What just happened?
I could ask you the same thing. You started to talk to yourself. And then you were throwing your arms about like you were fighting something. I couldn't see what. You started bawling and the lassie came in to see what was going on. She tried to settle you, but you just went for her.
Was Cecilia not able to have children? Did that anger Grandfather Edward?
Maybe you can see well enough too, son. Maybe you can. It wasn't her, it was her husband. He was the bother. Couldn't, you can?
I think so, yes.
Aye, well, Edward blamed Cecilia for it, for picking the wrong man for her mate. You'll be fine, laddie. You just need some fresh air. This place can get to you.
Ok. Creo que eso sería todo. Ok.
David, are you all right?
Vamos a poner, podría preguntarte lo mismo, ¿sí?
Am I alright? I should be asking you. I'm so sorry I hurt you. I don't know what happened.
Don't worry. I faced much worse in the asylum.
Cosas
She's
peores.
tough. I don't think it's possible to face her. Sorry again.
Maybe don't leave me outside like a naughty puppy next time.
Yes, quite.
Locura,
I think
Cecilia.
Edward may be responsible for the death of my Aunt Cecilia. Not directly. She drowned herself in the loch. I think that Edward drove her to it.
Old families usually have a skeleton or two in the cupboard.
Yes, but my family has a graveyard full. I feel like the madness that runs through this family, through these walls, is starting to seep into me too.
I can help you, but you need to open up. You need to start talking to me.
You would not believe me if I told you.
Stubborn, just like your father.
Whatever secret this family is hiding, it's costing lives. Cecilia, the maid, my father. God knows how many more over the years.
Listo. La chica se va a mover.
We need to examine the maid's body in the cellar.
To find out who killed her.
To be sure she was murdered before we start pointing fingers.
Ya, tenemos que ir a investigar. A ver, voy a... Voy a buscar el cuerpo.
If you'd just like to wait out here, sir.
I need to speak with Eddie.
The young master and her ladyship are otherwise detained.
May I remind you, this is my house?
May I remind you that it is not yours yet.
Might as well try moving a mountain out of the way. Fair enough. There's no doubt about his loyalty, nor with whom it lies. Mr. McKinnon, Angus, may I have the key to the cellar?
You may not, sir. As Mr. Harrison said, it will remain locked until the police arrive.
That's a fair point. I'm just concerned that some of the game in the cellar may have been caught illegally, poached by young Eddie there.
Well,
I'd be happy to get rid of the evidence. For Eddie to be found poaching on another family's estate could prove embarrassing.
You're barely part of this family, but you have a point.
I do, and I don't think Lady Margaret would take kindly to any such embarrassment.
Upon reflection, removing the evidence may be the best course of action. Here you are, sir.
Good thing I found that map. He would have never given up the cellar key otherwise. They seem to be a house full of carnivores.
Her neck's been broken, and with some considerable force, it seems. Her necklace looks like gold, albeit a plain design. And it's missing any form of pendant.
Still, well beyond a maid's salary. It...
Where's that sudden draft coming from? Mr. Gordon?
Your
Speak to me, please.
stag is here, my little doe.
Little doe? Not exactly the usual way to address the staff. Her clothes. He ripped a seam open. The missing pendant. He threw it into the blood-filled basin.
We're all here, sir. All down in the dark. Something's coming. The attic, sir. She's in the attic.
What just happened? You look like you were in some kind of trance.
Perhaps the lack of sleep is affecting me. Or the visions that you think me insane if I describe them to you.
I know you're holding out on me. I am on your side, remember? I thought I'd proven that to you already.
Perhaps I'm misjudging her.
Your father wouldn't speak to me either. Please let me help you.
Or not. I'm not a patient. I'm not a madman.
Ugh, that's horrible.
You're not the one with your hand in it. French. I don't speak French.
I do. It says for Clara, forever yours. Who's Clara?
I don't know. Yet another relative, perhaps?
We should ask someone who's been around here for longer. How did you know it was there? The pendant, I mean.
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. A hunch. Eddie gave this to her. We should ask him to his face just what his relationship was with her.
This isn't another ghost story, is it?
Look, you wouldn't understand. I can't...
What I do understand is that we cannot accuse a man of murder without proof.
The scene really did rip when she tried to get away from him. Mr. McKinnon, who is Clara?
The lady, Clara, young Eddie's late mother. A box with some of her belongings are kept in the library, as Master Eddie feels himself more a Gordon than a Mallory.
Maybe once I found out what really happened to Father here, I can finally talk to my family and staff about some lighter topics. If Eddie really gave her that pendant, he might be her killer, and I might not be losing my mind. Clara seems to be the name of Eddie's mother.
It's hardly an uncommon name. We need more proof for a grave accusation like this.
the belongings of Eddie's mother. Recognize that?
The necklace. Is that...
A young Eddie and his mother Clara.
I regret to inform you that your husband, Corporal Victor Mallory, number 874511, was killed in action with the enemy on the day of the 14th of September in Ypres. Your husband was involved in an advance against enemy lines. While he and his fellow soldiers fell, the action was successful, and you can take comfort in knowing his sacrifice saved many lives. It was not possible to get his remains away, and he was buried in a soldier's grave. Please accept the condolences of all the company. Yours, Captain Arthur Jones, 4th Army.
Thank you for your last letter. My heart soars with every word of yours I read. I touch the ink and imagine your fingers are just inches from mine, that we can almost touch, that I can almost feel the warmth of your skin once more. Young Edward grows more like his father each day. You'd be amazed how he shares your looks. I long for the day that this terrible war is ended and you return home to us, so we can be a family once more. I shall write to you again soon. Know that until then you are always in our hearts. Your loving wife, Clara.
The date. She was writing this when the death notice arrived. Oh, the poor woman. You see? The necklace was his mother's. He gave it to the maid. The maid!
You're right. We need to speak to him about this. But how could you know this? I can't help you if you don't tell me.
Cousin Eddie might be a murderer. How I draw my conclusions can wait for now. You see? The necklace was his mother's. He gave it to the maid.
You're right.
Cousin Eddie might be a murderer. How I draw my conclusions can wait for now. Eddie, I need to ask you about the maid. About Elsa.
You didn't know her!
I know that you and her were... That is to say, I know you had feelings for her.
What? That's poppycock! You're as deranged as your father was!
David, really? You go too far with this behavior.
The police will be here soon. Would you not prefer to clear this up before they get here in case they link Eddie with the crime?
Now look here, young lady. How dare you speak?
That's enough. Eddie. You gave her this. It was your mother's.
I did. It was.
Eddie!
I was just trying to cheer her up. She has nothing, and I had no need of it. You know she sends... You know she sent most of her money home to her grandmother.
Her clothing was ripped, as if someone was trying to force themselves upon her.
I would never have hurt her.
My little doe. Strange thing to call the help.
How? It was just harmless fun, that's all.
You're a worthless liar. You think she thought being pressed against a dead animal was harmless fun?
How do you know? It's true. Elsa and I would never have laid a finger on her. We were in love. I helped her with everything, even with her chores. Rose and...
That's quite enough. Eddie, you are obviously upset. And you are not helping, David. Angus, will you please take the young master upstairs?
As you say, Mom.
I think you have caused quite enough disruption here. We shall settle this heritage dilemma first thing tomorrow.
I don't think so. I have more questions now than ever. About my father, the maid, this whole damn house.
Have a care, David. Need I remind you of your father's temper?
I would never.
Given the current mental state of Master Eddie, who should be a part of the heritage considerations, any discussion on the topic would be futile at this point. Would you not agree?
Thank you, Leah. Maybe it's a good thing you're here after all.
Impudent brats!
What's going on?
Did you notice when Margaret got angry?
When Eddie mentioned chores involving Rose. What does that mean?
It can only have something to do with Lady Rosemary and Aunt Cecilia, and whatever the maid was doing in the attic.
The attic?
I saw the maid coming down the stairs with a tray, but there's nothing up there but an empty room, or so I thought.
Interesting. What is it, David?
I have to see.
David, wait! You have to start confiding in me, David. What are you seeing?
I'm not sure. Ghosts? Echoes? Memories? I can see my father as a child. It's like he's trying to speak to me.
Perhaps you visited here as a child. Maybe you're remembering stories your father told you of this place when you were young.
You see? I said you wouldn't believe me. I know what I saw, and I know I will find out what's going on here. What they are hiding from me.
We will. Together.
So?
So, we focus on the facts as we know them.
Go on.
You saw the maid's body. Her neck was broken. That was the work of a human, not a ghost, yes?
I suppose so, yes.
Lady Margaret knows more than she's saying, that's for sure.
Godspeed getting anything out of that old hag.
No, I know. But Eddie might be an easier option.
Yes. Yes, we need to find him. And make sure Margaret isn't there to interrupt.
I believe she's already gone to bed, but I'll check. You go find Eddie.
Well, that's clear enough.
Well, hello, my dear Elsa. Oh, Sir Edward, you look very handsome today.
Eddie?
Why, thank you. You are as beautiful as ever, my little doe. Oh, mwah, mwah.
Self-made dolls. Ugh. The stuff of nightmares. Eddie, can you hear me? What can you tell me about great-grandmother Rose? What did Elsa have to do? Eddie! What do you see here, Eddie?
You'll be quite safe, the little rabbit said to his brothers and sisters. The fox is fast asleep, so the rabbits tiptoed past, but the fox was sly. He wasn't asleep at all. He opened his yellow eyes.
I've warned you before to mind your place. This will be the last time you defy me.
The eyes of the fox, they shone with cruel light as he punched on the rabbits and ate them all one by one. It was only then he went to sleep, his tummy full, his heart content.
I wonder what's on the other side. Is there... no, can't see a switch or lever. I guess not all castles are like Edgar Allan Poe used to describe them. A secret passage.
What do you think you're doing?
I won't be long, I hope. Look after Eddie. Just a little further. Damn it!
That's it. Open wide. Good, good.
I don't want any.
That's all right, dear. Did I tell you that John's son David has arrived? He's as bothersome as his father. Not worthy of this place. Poor Angus will never recover from the sight of John's charred remains. Selfish, selfish man.
Please, don't.
I do not enjoy this, as you well know, but you brought it on yourself. Your son was a good man. You should not have defied him.
Rosemary. Oh my God. She's barely skin and bones. How is she still alive?
I found the hidden switch. It was in the bookcase.
You scared me half to death.
Well, you will insist on wandering off without telling me where you're going, and I just managed to avoid Lady Margaret when... Jesus God!
I saw this.
In a vision.
Edward beat her with it. Used it to cripple the poor woman.
Oh my God. And he hung it there to remind her every day. Take it down.
You're sure?
Do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rosemary, I'm David, John's son, your great-grandson.
Here, try this. No, like this. Gently.
Edward, I was bad. I disobeyed.
Disobeyed? How did you disobey?
Cecilia, I tried to stop him. Stop what he was doing.
What was he doing, Rosemary?
Should not have disobeyed. Not disturb him in the old wing. Never talk back.
Rose! Rose! What did he do to Cecilia?
I don't think you'll get anything more out of her. Poor woman. Come on, Lady Rosemary. We'll get you out of here.
No!
We can get you somewhere safe.
I'm safe here, in this room. Safe from the Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror. Margaret has a lot to explain. I think we need to have words with her ladyship. Margaret, we need to talk about...
Lady Margaret, if you please.
Never mind that. What the hell are you doing with Rosemary?
You're one to talk. You're just like your father, leaving nothing but fear and misery in your wake.
What in God's name are you talking about?
You spoke to young Eddie, did you not? Now he's convinced everyone is trying to kill him. He has taken poor Andrew hostage and is threatening his life.
Where is he?
He's taken him to the old wing, and he is armed.
I'll go. I can talk to him.
You will not. You two have caused quite enough trouble already.
We? How dare you, when you continue to worship Edward, even though he drove poor Cecilia to drown herself?
I will not allow you to...
To what? To speak the truth? To say that Edward...
He never touched her! You come here, and you...
No, you. You are the one in the wrong here. You know more than you're saying, and we both know it. There's something in this place. An evil that has plagued our family for generations. Instead of blaming others, maybe you should look closer to home for the cause of your misfortune.
You know nothing. What I did, what I do, everything is for this family. How can you possibly understand?
Please, my lady, we can discuss this later. Miss Farber, you need to speak to Master Eddie.
Take us to him.
This way. Have a care in the old wing. It isn't used, and for good reason. A section of wall fell into the sea some years back, and the rest is falling to ruin. Over there, sir.
Eddie?
No! No! They're after me! All of them! Trying to kill me! No! Please help!
Eddie, look at me, Eddie, just at me. It's going to be all right.
Stay back here. I'll try to reason with him.
You will not. This is what I do. Eddie? Talk to me, Eddie. Tell me what's troubling you.
Troubling me? He is! And David! They all are!
They all are what, Eddie?
Accusing me! They think I killed her!
The maid, you mean?
But I didn't! I didn't!
I believe you, Eddie. I believe you.
What are you doing? One more step and I kill him!
Oh, she's good. She's keeping him distracted. But I'm not sure she can talk him into dropping the gun. He seems too far gone for that. Can't see me from here. This might be a way across. Steady now.
Please, please let me go. Why should I? You liar! Liar! I'm not. Please, I'm not. Of course you are. You're a lawyer. You think I couldn't hear you whispering about abducting me, accusing me of murder?
Everything is all right. Slowly, Mr. Herbison.
Come here!
Bloody fool. Dr. Frankenstein's workplace. Seems intact. Now for some ammunition. Seems intact. Now for some ammunition. Bits of bone. Should work if I'm careful. Seems intact. Now for some ammunition. Let's hope this doesn't snap under the strain.
What the? Leave me alone! I told you, leave me alone!
Eddie, stop!
What? Get them off me! Get them off!
You okay?
What? No!
Hold still, you bastard!
Andrew! Andrew, no!
David? David?
What? What happened?
Relax. Everything's fine.
Fine. Are you out of your mind?
Oh, please, contain yourself, Andrew.
I most certainly will not. And I'm not spending another moment in this madhouse. I will fetch the police from the village immediately.
I don't think that would be wise, sir.
Are you threatening me?
Perish the thought, sir. I'm merely pointing out the folly of driving these roads in the dark.
And besides, we may need the car if Eddie's condition worsens.
The insane brat can jump off the roof for all I care. I, for one, will rather risk my life out there than in here.
Leave, then. And before you even think of telling anyone what happened here, just remember who you are dealing with. And yes, you may consider that a threat. Angus, kindly help me with young Eddie.
Careful now, just take it slowly. I'm sorry I didn't believe you.
Science took a beating tonight.
After seeing what happened here, I think even Dr. Freud would agree with you.
The mirror. I think it's some kind of dark force, an ancient evil summoned by the druids.
And they lost control over it.
I believe they never had control. Edward knew of the mirror. He may have even understood its power.
So we know what it is, but not where.
It's underground. Somewhere. Reaching it, well, that's the real conundrum.
And how not to end up like your father. I need to check up on Eddie and make sure he's all right.
Have you forgotten that he tried to kill you?
So, I'll be careful then. He's a person in need, no matter what he did.
My father tried to destroy the mirror, to end the evil, but he failed. Now he's trapped in there.
Are you talking about his soul?
If that's what you want to call it. All I know is... we have to find a way to free him. This is Edward's lair. And Margaret was none too eager on us prying.
So we should pry.
Indeed.
Another one.
Like the symbols carved on the rocks.
Rory.
Yes. He might know what it means.
He'll probably be asleep at this late hour, though.
The first time I met him was in the dead of night. So who knows? He might get lucky.